Madam President, I rise today to talk about unemployment insurance, and I'll be brief, and at the end of my remarks I'll be offering a consent agreement. And first of all, I wanted to cite a study that was just released today by the Council of Economic Advisors. What I'll do is just offer this report. I'd ask consent that this report, entitled "The Economic Impact of Recent Temporary Unemployment Insurance Extensions," dated December 2nd, a report by the Executive Office of the President, the Council of Economic Advisors. I'd ask that that report be made part of the record.
Without objection.
This report that was released today had a number of findings. First of all, that the emergency expansion of unemployment insurance programs in 2007 has benefited 40 million people in the United States of America who have either received or lived with a recipient of these programs. This figure includes 10.5 million children. And in line with other studies that have been released, this report by the Council of Economic Advisors states that there are 800,000 more jobs, and GDP is 0.8% higher because of the expansion of unemployment insurance programs. Without a reauthorization through 2011, the one that we're debating here in the Senate, that at this time next year, in 2011, December, there'll be 600,000 less jobs, and GDP will be 0.6% lower. So there are real consequences to the denial of this reauthorization going forward. To give you a sense of what that means in a state like Pennsylvania, without reauthorization of these programs, 353,989 people will lose unemployment insurance coverage by November of 2011. And the Pennsylvania economy will be severely impacted without reauthorization. According to the Council of Economic Advisors, 31,228 less jobs in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania if we do not reauthorize unemployment insurance. Just to put that in perspective, in the first 3 quarters of this year, in the midst of a recovery, a slow recovery, but a recovery nonetheless, our state has gone from losing jobs in 2009 to gaining jobs. First 3 quarters of the year, we've gained roughly 48,000 jobs. Without unemployment insurance, we stand to lose, as I said, more than 31,000 of those jobs. We know that the unemployment rate of 9.6% nationally means that 15,000 people are out of work. And if you're opposed to this reauthorization, you've got to come up with another answer. You can't just say to 15 million people, well, we couldn't get it done, or things interfered in Washington. In our state, fortunately, we're lower than 9.6, we're 8.8, but 8.8% in Pennsylvania means that 560,000 people are out of work. It ballooned up to over 590 this summer, but fortunately that's been coming down over the last couple of months, and of course we want to keep it moving in that direction. Let me just conclude with this thought. For the past 6 decades, Congress has provided federally funded unemployment insurance benefits during every recession. The Congress has done that, and thank goodness they did. And finally, without this reauthorization, in our state of Pennsylvania, 83,000 Pennsylvanians will exhaust their benefits this month. And of course, across the country, it's some 2 million. So with that, Madam President, I'd ask unanimous consent that the Finance Committee be discharged from further consideration of S. 3981, a bill to provide for a temporary extension of unemployment insurance provisions, that the Senate proceed to its immediate consideration, that the bill be read a 3rd time and passed, and that the motion to reconsider be laid upon the table with no intervening action or debate, and any statements related to the bill be placed in the record at the appropriate place as if read.
Is there objection? The Senator from Nevada.
Madam President, reserving the right to object because Republicans want to extend unemployment benefits without increasing the deficit, would the senator agree to include an amendment that has been proposed by Senator Brown that would offset the cost of the bill with unspent federal funds, the text of which is at the desk?
Senator from Pennsylvania.
I would not. I'd object to that for the simple reason that the crux of that amendment involves allocated dollars that are already allocated to federal programs across the board. And although the money has not been spent yet, that money has been allocated. And if there's a concern, as there seems to be, I'd categorize it as an alleged concern, but we'll call it a concern nonetheless about the deficit. There doesn't seem to be the same concern about running up the deficit, not by billions, but by hundreds of billions to increase or to extend tax cuts to Americans above the $250,000 income tax bracket. So if there's that concern about the deficit, I wish that logic and that concern was applied to the tax cut debate.